सरस्वती ठाकुर महाराज की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 16, Text 2. Nalam Vayam Te Mahimanuswaranaya. Nalam Vayam Te Mahimanuvarnane. Nalam Vayam Te Mahimanuvarnane. Nalam Vayam Te Mahimanuvarnane. Yo Devavaryo Avatara Mayaya. Yo Devavaryo Avatara Mayaya. Yo Devavaryo Avatara Mayaya. Venanga Jatasya Cha Parushani Te. Venanga Jatasya Cha Parushani Te. Venanga Jatasya Cha Parushani Te. Vachaspatinam Api Babramur Diyaha. Vachaspatinam Api Babramur Diyaha. Vachaspatinam Api Babramur Diyaha. Nalam Vayam Te Mahimanuvarnane. Yo Devavaryo Avatara Mayaya. Venanga Jatasya Cha Parushani Te. Vachaspatinam Api Babramurdiha. Nalam Vayam Te Mahimanuvarnane. Yo Devavaryo Avatara Mayaya. Venanga Jatasya Cha Purushani Te. Vachaspatinam Api Babramurdiha. Nalam Vayam Te Mahimanuvarnane. Yo Devavaryo Avatara Mayaya. Venanga Jatasya Cha Parushani Te. Vachaspatinam Api Babramurdiha. Nalam Vayam Te Mahimanuvarnane. Yo Devavayo Avatara Mayaya. Venanga Jatasya Cha Parushani Te. Vachaspatinam Api Babramurdiha. Mataji. Nalam Vayam Te Mahimanuvarnane. Yo Devavayo Avatara Mayaya Vinangajatasya cha Parushanite Vachaspatinam api Babramudiyaya Nalam vayam te mahimanu varnane Yo Devavaryo Avatara Mayaya Vinangajatasya cha Parushanite Vachaspatinam api Babramudiyaya Nalam vayante mahimanu varnane Yo Devavaryo Avatara Mayaya Vinangajatasya cha Purushanite Vachaspatinam api Babramudiyaya Nalam, not able. Vayam, we. Te, your. Mahima, glories. Anuvarnane, in describing. Ya, you who. Deva, the personality of Godhead. Varyaha, foremost. Avatara, descended. Maya, by his internal potencies or causeless mercy. Vena Anga, from the body of the king Vena. Jatasya, who have appeared. Cha, and. Purushani, glorious activities. Te, of you. Vachaha Patinam, of great orators. Api, although. Bamramu, became bewildered. Diheha, the minds. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. The reciters continue. Dear King, you are a direct incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu. And by His causeless mercy, you have descended on this earth. Therefore, it is not possible for us to actually glorify your exalted activities. Although you have appeared through the body of King Vena, even great orators and speakers like Lord Brahma and other demigods cannot exactly describe the glorious activities of your Lordship. Purport. In this verse, the word Maya means by your causeless mercy. The Mayavadi philosophers explain the word Maya as meaning illusion or falseness. However, there is another meaning of Maya, that is causeless mercy. There are two kinds of Maya, Yoga Maya and Mahamaya. Mahamaya is an expansion of Yoga Maya, and both these Mayas are different expression of the Lord's internal potencies. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, Lord appears through His internal potencies, Atma Maya. We should therefore reject this Mayavada explanation that the Lord appears in a body given by the external potency, the material energy. The Lord and His incarnation are fully independent and can appear anywhere and everywhere by virtue of the internal potency. Although born out of the so-called dead body of King Vena, King Prithu was still an incarnation of Supreme Personality of Godhead by the Lord's internal potency. The Lord can appear in any family. Sometimes He appears as a fish incarnation, Matsya Avatara, or a boar incarnation, Varaha Avatara. Thus the Lord is completely free and independent to appear anywhere and everywhere by His internal potency. It is stated that Ananta, an incarnation of the Lord, who has unlimited mouths, cannot reach end of His glorification of the Lord. although Ananta has been describing Lord since time immemorial. So, what to speak of demigods like Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and others? It said that the Lord is Shiva Virchini Nutam, always worshipped by demigods like Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. If the demigods cannot find adequate language to express the glories of the Lord, then what to speak of others? Consequently, reciters like the Suta and Magadha felt inadequate to speak about King Prithu. By glorifying the Lord with exalted verses, one becomes purified. Although we are unable to offer prayers to the Lord in an adequate fashion, our duty is to make the attempt in order to purify ourselves. It is not that we should stop our glorification because demigod like Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva cannot adequately glorify the Lord. Rather, as stated by Prahlad Maharaj, everyone should glorify the Lord according to his own ability. If you are serious and sincere devotees, the Lord will give us the intelligence to offer prayers properly. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Let's chant Manklacharam. Om Ajnana Timrandasya Jnana Jana Salakaya Chakshuru Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapatantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Utapata Kamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavam Cham Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sagitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sagagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Shapanu Shute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Taruvasya Kripa Sindhu Vayevacha Patitanam Bhavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Nam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So I'll take the blessings of all the assembled Vaishnavis here and the blessings of my Siksha Gurus and my spiritual master and Prabhupada. The right word comes at the right time. So this is one of the important, means everything in the Bhagavatam is an important section, but this is one important which we can learn for ourselves and then apply it day to day. So first let's try to understand. So here we are talking about King Prithu. So Sridhar Swami Maharaj, when he was commenting about King Prithu, he said he is a topmost incarnation, avatar. So that the King Prithu is such a very important one. So as in terms of the kingly incarnation who are come, King Prithu is the one of the very important person. So he is glorifying King Prithu as the topmost incarnation for the Amsa. Okay. So first let's try to understand how the King Prithu has come, and then we can do it. Just we'll go back a little bit. So there was a King Vena. So he was a very cruel king. So and he was not following the Vedic way of life, and he is not one. And he started blaspheming the Supreme Lord. So once then the Brahmanas decided to kill him. So that time beautifully Maitreya Muni will write it. So he's already died because he has blasphemed the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we need to understand. So that means Kapila Devi very beautifully says that once you blaspheme a devotee, that means your spiritual life is death. So that's what the Kapila Muni says. That's what here Maitreya Muni writes. He is already as good as dead due to his blasphemy against the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the Brahmanas have killed him because there is no meaning of him having it. Then the Brahmana see the situation. The people are suffering. So they have very high compassion. So they need there should be a king to protect the people. So what they have decided, since who is King Vena? He is coming from the descendants of Dhruva Maharaj family. So that means he should be a very high. His father, King Anga, was a very devotee, very good devotee. So they thought that they'll do churn the dead body of the king Vena, so to generate the progeny. So first they churned the thighs, they got the Bahuka, a dwarf, so that it went away. So it's been always said that when in anything auspicious start, all our inauspicious should go away. So that's how the acharyas say that one. So the Bahuka, so which came, it's a dwarf, then it's gone. Then they churn the hands of the king Anga. So where the king Vena, where they get the two. So one is the King Prithu, another is the Mother Archi. So they get it one. So Mother Archi is the, it's like an eternal consort of the King Anga. Right? So because the Lord and his eternal consort, energy, it's always never separable. So that's why when the Lord comes, the eternal consort also is coming. That's the whole one. So now when the king Prithu has come, so all this, they started coronating him as a king. Then there are lots of demigods, everyone comes and started praising him and giving the gifts. So Swayambhavan Keshav Maharaj was explaining it very beautifully on that day, right? So whenever we go and see any person, so we always, big person, we always go with something gift. So that's to show our love and then the faith on that person. So they are given. Then King Prithu saw there are two persons were standing, Sutta and Magadha. So, and there are few more along with them. So they are like, they are just glorifying the singers. They try to sing the glorify of the Lord. So then sees that one, King Prithu stops them. Don't glorify me now because I haven't done anything yet so far. So in our case, even we haven't done anything. Yeah, please tell something about us. Yeah, I did that day on that one. So, but King Prithu has made it very clear. No, so I haven't done anything. It's not a time for to glorify. So, but they couldn't stop because who is King Prithu? He is the incarnation of the Lord. When the Lord comes, you cannot stop glorifying it. So that's the one. They started the glorification. Okay. So that's the background. So they are glorifying it here. So in this verse, there are few important points. Now, in the purport, if you look at the one, Prabhupada starts the purport with the word Maya. So generally, Maya means, okay, we think, oh, it is, oh, he's under Maya, so that's what he's not chanting, he's not doing the rounds. So we always have think as a Maya means something, it's an illusion kind of one, right? So Prabhupada here starts with Maya. So Maya is not only just illusion or Mahamaya Yoga Maya, there is also, it is called costless mercy. So some of the acharyas, I think Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says this Maya is a kripa, and some acharyas they say it's a kampanate. It's like it's a compassion. So the Lord comes based on the two reasons. They say that it's because of the compassion of the suffering souls. He wants to come and wake us away, to come call us. So that's the one thing. Or he's coming on his mercy. The Lord is coming based on the mercy. That's the major reason of the one. So that's what Prabhupada is making it very clear. So he's trusting it's because of the costless mercy, right? So even we can see there are many places Krishna says, means it's Atma Maya. Prabhupada has quoted this from the Bhagavad Gita, right? Ajopi Shana and Vetam. So where Krishna says that although I'm unborn, my body is a transcendental, never deteriorates, but I still appear in this every millennium in my original transcendental one because of my own desire. So he comes on his own. So that's what Atma Maya, by his own desire, by his own will, he comes. So that's our very important. That's what Prabhupada quotes that Bhagavad Gita 4.6. So we can see Krishna says Maya, right? So in Sukadev Goswami says in the initial cantos, so he says Krishna has come to this world and then he has married 16,000 wives. In that case, he says that one, he avatarna swamayaya, and he married. So that means on his own costless mercy he came, descended and married, and then he won. So that's a whole important. The Maya is not the one. Right? So Prabhupada here quotes the Maya. He just want to make very important, right? Mayavadis, in their perspective, Maya means it's again, it's like, oh, it's a illusion, material. Maya means in their perspective, it's a material. It's like a Mahamaya, right? So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, right? Devi is a Gunamaya, Mama Maya Duratya, my energy. That case he is telling my external energy. So Prabhupada here quotes that Krishna has both the energies, external energies and internal energies. Internal energies Yogamaya, external energies Mahamaya. So what Prabhupada says here is that, so Yogamaya is what his internal energy, it's always with the Lord. Right? And Mahamaya is, it's an incarnation from the Yogamaya. It's coming from the Yogamaya. Right? Prabhupada writes in somewhere in Bhagavad Gita, where he writes a purport that in generally people are bewildered, either bewildered by Yogamaya or Mahamaya. So we have to choose. We have to be bewildered under whose. Right? So we want to be in Yogamaya bewilders Yashodama, so that she is always sees Krishna as my child, so that Krishna can enjoy his pastime. In Vrindavan, no one sees Krishna as the Lord, right? So that's the whole purpose of one, right? So whereas in this conditioned material world, we are being bewildered by Mahamaya. So that's the reason we have been here. So, and coming here, then another one Prabhupada here is beautifully says that the Lord can appear in any family. So there is no, we cannot say the Lord is appear only here and this is the how Lord appear. Lord can appear any family, any form, anywhere. He here in this case he formed from the dead body. So imagine a Lord is coming from the dead body, right? So if you look at one, so we all know that, okay, we think the Lord comes from the Brahmin family, maybe like Lord Vamanadev, he come from the Lord Brahmin family. Not only Lord come from the one. So he comes from any family, right? Lord Rama, he come from the Kshatriya, it's a dynasty, right? Kshatriya one. So Krishna, who is Yashoda Nandana, so he is coming from Vaishya, right? So then how about Sudra? Is there any Lord incarnation on the Sudra, right? So in that, if you look at one, the Acharyas quote that Veda Vyasa, right? Vyasadev. He is a he is one written all the one. So he was born from the Parashara Muni, he is a Brahmana sage, and but whereas his mother Satyavati was a fisherwoman. So that's a case. It's not only like both has to be a Brahman or one, right? So that's how Lord can come. Lord can appear in any form, right? So what has made a Hiranyakashipu very much bewildered? Because he couldn't think how a person can come from the pillar, right? So that was he was like bewildered. He could never think that a Lord can come from a pillar with a face of a lion and a body of a human. He can never think of it. But whereas the devotees can understand that's a Lord is coming. So that's what Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami writes in Chaitanya Charitamrita. A Lord can be understood by the devotee, though he is trying to hide himself. A devotee can understand who is the Lord is. That's what the Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami quotes at one. So that's what when the Hiranyakashipu was bewildered, he thought he's a one among another animal he can win. But it was the Lord, the death of his death personified. Right? So that's a one. We need to really understand. That's what Prabhupada making it very clear. It's like Lord can appear in any form and any family of the one. So then the other section of the one, Prabhupada talks about the importance of glorification of the Lord. And then there recitation of the Lord, right? So the whole Bhagavatam is meant for the glorification of the Lord and its devotees. It's like it's a full of prayers, right? So in the initial chapters, when the Sukadev Goswami writes, he says that one, right? He's trying to take, before he start talking of Bhagavatam, he's trying to take offerings, right? He wants to take blessings. So what he is taking the blessing? Yat kirtanam, yat smaranam, yat ikshanam, yat vandanam, yat shravanam, yat arhanam, lokasya sada vidnoti kalmasha, tasmai subhatra shravani namo namaha. So he is telling, yat kirtanam, whose glories we have to glorify. I want to offer my obeisances to the person whose glorification we need to always be, we have to glorify. We have to talk about him. That's a yat kirtanam. Then yat smaranam, about whom we need to always remember it. That person I need to take a one. And he's take yat ikshanam. That means, ikshanam means it's audience. With whom we take a audience of it, right? So what is the here audience of the Lord? So what it mean by audience, right? So we think we don't have any, God is not there to be an audience. But when we stand behind, in front of Radha Gopinath sees as an audience, he has come. Maybe we don't have a vision to see Radha Gopinath, but Radha Gopinath sees us, yes, he has come. So we have to take an audience, and then we take a Srimad Bhagavatam, we are audiencing with the Srimad Bhagavatam, we are interacting with the Srimad Bhagavatam. Then, yat vandanam, that means to whom we offer the prayers. Right? So, an yat shravanam, about whom we have to hear it. Right? So, an arhanam, that means worshipping. So, what happens when we do all those things about the person, right? So, he cleansed lokasya sadeva vidnoti kalmashaha, all kind of sins he will cleanse us. The one person, if it's, let's say, if I think about somebody from a cricketer, is it what is going to happen? It nothing is going to happen. It right? Or I may become a mad. But if you try to think that one person, who is going to remove all the sins, effects of whole sins, that is what that person we need to remember. So when remembering him, what is that? We get all the tasma shubhadra shravane. So that means we get the all auspiciousness, will be getting all auspiciousness. So he is taking that person obeisances. That's Lord Krishna. That's what he is telling it. So when we think about, hear about, when we stand in front of Radha Gopinath, so all our sins are going, and then we are getting the whole auspiciousness. Right? So that's a very important glorification of the Lord. And then the Lord loves to glorify the devotees. Right? So that's the one. So there was one small story, it is mentioned in the Chaitanya Bhagavat, right? So one time Mahaprabhu goes to Gaya, and then so until Mahaprabhu goes to Gaya, he has never manifested his devotee bhav. He was like a very learned scholar, that's what they do it. Once he went to Gaya, and then he started, after meeting his spiritual master, he started showing his the real devotee bhav, he started showing. So that time Mahaprabhu was showing pastimes that he became feverish. So Mahaprabhu was fevered. So they don't know, the students stayed with Mahaprabhu, they don't know what to do with the Mahaprabhu. So they are told, Mahaprabhu said that, go and bring the feet washing water of the Brahmana. So that's what the Mahaprabhu said. They couldn't understand what is the one. So some people know that Mahaprabhu is the Lord. Why Lord wants feet washing water feet? So that means Lord is glorifying the Brahmanas. Who is the real Brahmana? Who is the Vaishnava? He is glorifying it. So when the Lord, means Mahaprabhu drinks that feet washing water, his fever has gone. That's what the one doing it. Mahaprabhu shows this, the importance of glorification of the devotees one lot, right? So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says that one, when Mahaprabhu started talking about Vasudeva Datta, he's talking like as if he's having thousands of mouths. So that's what he glorifies it, right? When Mahaprabhu starts opening his mouths about Vasudeva Datta, it's like we can see that Mahaprabhu is having thousands of mouths. That means he is glorifying it. He cannot stop talking about Vasudeva Datta. That's what he is doing it. Right? So another one very beautiful place where Mahaprabhu glorifies Haridas Thakur. When the Haridas Thakur passed away, he says that one, the crown jewel of the entire universe has left us. So that's a very one. He considered his devotee, right? It's like a crown jewel. So that's what the Mahaprabhu glorifies it. The Lord loves to glorify the devotees. We want to glorify the Lord, but the Lord wants to glorify his devotees. That means the glorification of Lord's devotees more potent, right? So one more example from the story from the Bhagavatam, right? So what we can see is Bhishma Dev. Bhishma Dev is lying in the bed of arrows. So it's been said that even a child cannot keep his small finger. So that means there is no space in his body. So much of arrows have been there. So he's lying on that kind of a shape, in that position. In that position, even a simple prick, what? Oh, come on, I have pain. But Bhishma Dev is in this one. In that time, when he sees the Krishna and all his devotees, he was very happy. The tears are coming from his eyes. So that's what the Sukadeva Goswami writes very beautifully. When he sees the Krishna and all his devotees, the tears of joys are coming from his eyes. So that's what they see. So that means when they see the devotee of the Lord, they get the joyous. That's the whole purpose of it, right? So then the last point here in this section of Prabhupada purport is in that second paragraph, right? So he says that one, by glorifying the Lord, with exalted verse, one becomes purified, right? So the purification, right? And this paragraph is so nice, so I'll read it again. Although we are unable to offer praise to the Lord in adequate fashion, our duty is to make an attempt to order to purify ourselves. So that means we offer prayers to purify, though we cannot do it, but it's like we do it. So the last point is rather as stated by Prahlad Maharaj, everyone should glorify the Lord according to his own ability. So then the next line is very important. If we are serious and sincere devotees, the Lord will give us the intelligence to offer prayers properly. The only one qualification Prabhupada is always says that one is, maybe you can call it a two qualification. One is the seriousness and sincere. Those are other very important one, what we have it, as serious and sincere. If we have those two things, the Lord will give us the intelligence, right? So this we can see from so whoever goes for books, they cannot imagine that how they are, what the word they say and then do it, right? It's all that Lord gives the intelligence. It doesn't mean you reminder 10 lines, okay, I'll go this person, I'll tell this one, okay, if I tell he'll get a book. No, definitely he'll not get. What comes from the Lord. So the Lord gives that intelligence, what to speak. So that's a very important, right? So one day, one person asked Gorgovind Maharaj, he asked it, Maharaj, if you look at when in the Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Prabhupada was there, so that time his devotees are not much learned because Maharaj, Prabhupada means Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj, he has to make him to do lots of services, but they are very intellectual. So when that means they can beat any person, they can go and talk and beat any person in terms of the knowledge of the Vedas. So they asked it Gorgovind Maharaj, how they are able to do it on one, right? So that's what Gorgovind Maharaj says that one. It's like Mukum Karoti Vachalam. That's the example of the one. So they can beat anyone because they have the Guru's one, right? So Prabhupada has a very much high confidence. He can call anyone and can beat anyone because he's been, Krishna is the knowledge, he is giving the one and then he can do it. Okay, so that's the one. So the last point is that what is the importance and spreading of the one? We all know that one of the famous verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam, so where the Gopi sings, right? Tava katamritam tapta jivanam Kavibiriditam kalmashapanam Shravanamangalam Srimadattatam Bhuvigrahanati Eburijarata. So the Tava Katamritam, it's like it's a nectar of words. Whatever we talk about Krishna or the words coming from Krishna, that's what Prabhupada says. There are two books are very important. One is the Bhagavad Gita, another one is Srimad Bhagavatam. So it's all Katamritam. It's like a Hari Kathas. So the nectar of words. So what happens one? So this is for those for whom that one. It is for Tapta Jivanam, who are been suffering in this material world. If somebody is suffering, then one. So this is sing by who and all? The Kavibi, great thinkers, right? You can take anyone, they'll sing it. So what happens with that one? Kalma Shapanam, that means which drives away all sinful reactions, right? Once we started hearing Krishna Katha, what happens is, right? Hridayanti Astro, right? In our heart is getting cleansed. That's the whole purpose. It's all Shravana Mangalam, right? So Prabhupada always quotes that when you do Harinam, you make that place the whole glorious. That's the reason we go for Harinam and spread. Right? So when Prabhupada is telling these scientists are very cheaters, right? They can't solve the water problem. You just do Harinam, the Lord will be satisfied and the rain will come. So, and what they are finally they are telling, whoever spread this one, they are Burida, the most beneficent purpose. That's a whole, whoever chant and spread. So that's a whole one, right? So yeah, I'll stop here because I want to talk for a few minutes for about today's most auspicious day of Sri Advaita Acharya Gosai's appearance day. So I'll just talk about a few minutes of the one because it's one of very, very important one. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami writes, Krishna has come as a 5 forms in this as a Panchatattva. So Panchatattvakum Krishnam, Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam, Bhaktavataram, Bhaktakyam, Namami, Bhakta Saktikam. Krishna is coming as a 5, as a devotee. So that's Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then expansion of your devotees. So it's Lord Nityananda Prabhu. Then incarnation of your devotees. That's what Advaita Acharya. So his appearance day, that's what we are doing it. Then pure devotee and devotional energies. That's what the one in Shivas and then Gadadhar Pandit. Okay. So when he was explaining about, so he's giving who is Advaita Acharya. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, when he writes about Advaita Acharya, he's called Advaitvam because he's Harinath Advait. He's none other than Lord Hari. So that's what he's called Advaitam. So that's what Harinath one. And he's called Acharyam because Bhakti Samasanat. He's one who teaches the Bhakti. So he's the one who teaches the Bhakti. Bhaktavataram, say he is the incarnation of the Lord. Isamtam Advaita Acharam Asharaya. Take the shelter of that Lord Advaita. So that's what he starts there about Lord Advaita. Right? So just quickly summarize what I heard about Lord Advaita. So Lord Advaita is incarnation of Mahavishnu. So though he was an incarnation of, he born in a small village. These days it's in the Bangladesh, Navagram. So and then he moved to Navadip and Shantipur. Okay, so in his he was the Lord Vishnu himself. He comes and then he sees in the Navadip, which is the epitome or the place of the devotion. There he don't see anyone chanting about Lord Govinda, Lord Hari. So he just sees only the dry philosophy has been discussed. There is no devotion aspect of it. So when Lord Advaita is a compassion. So who is he? He is a Lord Mahavishnu. He can deliver everyone. But he thinks himself, no, I cannot. Then Lord has to come. That's the mood of the one. We think, yes, we can do it. That's our false ego. But whereas the Mahavishnu, he thinks the Lord has to come. So that's what he is doing. Because he is now playing the role of incarnation of a devotee. A devotee sees, so I cannot do. I need a mercy, a blessings. Lord has to come. And then Advaita Acharya reads in the scriptures. So if you prays to Tulasi, means Shaligram Shila with Ganga Jal and Tulasi, the Lord will come. So with very heavy intention and with love, he started offering Ganga Jal and Tulsi leaves and started with loudly chanting Hari 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 Hari. So once he started chanting, it has been heard by that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then he started coming down. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that one to Advaita Acharya, you are the one who brought me here. So that means a devotee can bring the Lord. That's what been said. So means there are lots of pastime. In one very important one, so where Advaita Acharya asked, means Mahaprabhu asked Advaita Acharya what the boon or benediction he wants. So Advaita Acharya praised that one. He give all the malachas, all who are non-eligible, give them the Krishna Prema and deliver it. So because of his prayers and then his wish, only we all have some kind of a option or a choice, right? So there is another one more important I want to touch upon, which is related to Advaita Acharya and Prabhupada. It is been said from the Shantipur, that's where the Advaita Acharya's house is been there. So means one of the the servant, that means whoever they do the seva, they one of the seva. So he was telling it, there was a one middle-aged person who comes with there, and then he always do a chanting. So he will be doing for hours and hours of chanting. So you can see the beats will be moving, and then he will be just chanting, and then the tears will flow. So he don't want to disturb that person, but he comes very regularly, and then he do it for chanting hours and hours. So sometimes he just talks, but most of the times he will not disturb that person. So after some time he didn't come. In later that person come when there is a one sannyas come with saffron wearing clothes, and then he again was doing chanting. His face was looking familiar, and then he just went to close and see who is that one. He couldn't identify himself. Oh, you are used to come as a grahastha? Yes, you have one. So what is the reason you have? I haven't seen you for long, and why you have come? So that time, that sannyas, he is just introducing himself. My name is Abhay Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj. So means our Prabhupada is telling to him. So I'm unworthy disciple of his divine grace, Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur Prabhupada. My divine my spiritual master has ordered me to go and preach to the Western world, to the America. Tomorrow I am traveling to America. So I don't know how much I can do it. Since this is the place where Shantipur is the place where Advaita Acharya, Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, they all meet and discuss about the strategy of how to spread the Krishna consciousness. I'm coming here to take their blessings of their mercy. So I don't know how much to do. And then he says that when Prabhupada says his eyes have been, tears are coming from his eyes. So one. So and then this person, oh yeah, okay. So he prayed and then goes. And he didn't see anything. He didn't hear about Prabhupada or anything. After certain time, there is a certain, he's seeing first time in his life, there are some Western bodied devotees are coming. So he didn't know anything, but they had a Back to Godhead magazines they had in the one. In that one, he sees a Prabhupada picture. Then he understood, yes, that Maharaj has, whatever he has done, he has achieved what he went for it. So that's the one. It's very close to Prabhupada, that Shantipur. When they had a problem in getting acquiring the land, Prabhupada is having a thought, if we cannot do it in the Mayapur, if we cannot do it, we'll do it in the, create a ISKCON TVOP in the Shantipur. That's how the very important place, because that's where the one we all get the means. Without the mercy of Advaita Acharya, we cannot get the mercy of the Nitai and Mahaprabhu, right? So that's how the Narottam Das Thakur sings, right? Daya karo Sitapati Advaita Kosai Kripa Bona Bona means Tava Kripa Bole Pai Chaitanya Nitai, right? So if Advaita Gosai is not get peace, how can we please the Nitai and Chaitanya? So he takes the asking the blessings of Advaita Acharya. Let's all take the blessings of Advaita Acharya today so that we get the blessings of Lord Chaitanya Nitai. Gaura Premanande. So is there any common correction? Yes, Prabhu. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Shubhatra is Yogamaya. Means in some places I have seen Prabhupada writes Durga itself also it's a Yogamaya. When it's in the material it is Mahamaya, and there are lots of Durga's expansions, Kali, Mahakali, there are so many others. They are all parts of Mahamaya if they are in the material world. There are some places Prabhupada quotes Durga also Yogamaya. Durga is a Maya which is we can understand, we can go, that's how Prabhupada has written. Means what I understand is Prabhu, means we are all dependent because I didn't choose my body, I didn't choose anywhere to born and what. I have been forced to on one. Whereas in case of the Lord can come from the dead body, Lord can come from the pillar, Lord can come anywhere. So he's a fully independent, he can choose whatever he can, Swatantra, right? So that's what when Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, when Mahaprabhu does some of the things, so he says he's a fully independent, we cannot really understand it. Lord is fully independent in terms of his own decision, he can takes what is, that's what my understanding. Means incarnations, they have the potencies of the Lord, right? So that's how one. Whether how they will, I'm not sure. Bro, I'm not sure whether the prayers have been mentioned or not. Maybe others can join. But only thing they know that there is a potency of the one because it's coming from the semen. The potency is very high. It is coming from the king Anga. So that's the reason they churn the one. Whether they prayed it part, which I can't recollect. Bro. Thank you very much. Grindraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.